Feels weird to do this with a hat on. Welcome back. Here we are. I'm doing a contest entry to Alex's 200 subs contest. I watched it and I sort of left a comment saying that we would probably have very similar top fives. So I thought I'd pull out the hat. And I almost considered actually copying the video almost word for word and reshooting it as a joke. Alex said that would be a bit more of a creative way of making a contest video, which I thought was really funny. I did actually pull out the same records, apart from one, so I could have. These are the ones that Alex showed in order. So I don't have the Marion Brown you showed, but I do have this one, ESP disc, so close enough. So if you haven't seen Alex's video, those were the records he showed, so you don't have to bother watching that now. I'm only joking. I'm a really big fan of Alex's channel. He shows lots of really cool stuff, a lot of strange electronic and avant-garde stuff that I don't know too much about, a lot of, I guess, modern classical, experimental, ambient stuff. That's the stuff that really gets my attention. But yeah, really, really cool that Alex has sort of come around in the past, I guess, couple of years, and really, I guess, yeah, invigorated me with excitement and lots of records I didn't know about personally. So he's someone that I'm really grateful is around the vinyl community. Always showing cool stuff, and I would have thought he should have way more than 200 subs already. You know, when I saw the contest, I was like, oh man, you know, Alex deserves 3 times that amount. You know, for the stuff that he's showed that I've been intrigued in. Yeah, they're definitely someone I watch regularly, although I don't really comment on a lot of them because I'm really lazy. But yeah, I've got a feeling this is going to be a rambling type video because I've already started to ramble quite a lot. I'm going to take the hat off because I realise that I just look weird in the hat. I'm not really like a hat person. Alex wears this LA hat in his videos. This is a slightly different variation on it. Yeah, hats off to you, Alex. Congratulations on your 200. Please keep them coming. I really, really enjoy your videos. But to the topic. So the topic was show 5 of your favourite or top jazz records that are not Coltrane related. So initially I just came downstairs and picked out 5 real quick. Then I went upstairs and I did some work and I was just thinking about it, and as you know, I sort of overthought it and I was like, oh, it's a bit too obvious, I don't want to show that. And then I was torn between showing 2 obvious ones or ones that I really enjoy that are, you know, less well known. And then I rewatched his video and he said don't think about it too much, so I've decided I'm not going to think about the numbers. I'm going to show 7 records, not 5, so I've already broken the rules. I've actually got, I could half show these. I'll tell you what, I'll show you 2 and I'm going to explain why I'm not going to keep them in the top 5. But this is one of my all-time favourite jazz records, but not because it works, like for me, and as a whole album. Side 2 I think is not really that great, or it's not amazing, but the first side is mind-blowing. You know, that would, you know, if I was judging on half a record, this would be my favourite jazz record, or at least in my top 3. Upper and Lower Egypt is an absolute masterpiece. So see, I'm already taking this way too seriously, aren't I, by splitting them into sides. So this is a favourite jazz record, but for me, it's the second half isn't anywhere near as strong as the first. So that's not being included. And it's the same goes with this one. For me, the first side is absolutely mind-blowing, and you know, these guys are completely at the peak of their powers in this album. They're obviously a bit older getting on, but the amount of like telepathic, the way they play together is just out of this world. You know, it's absolute. People talk about Interstellar Space by Coltrane. as one of those top duo records, but I really do think this is up here. Just wait till the first track, Birth, gets going. It's it's absolute fiery mind blower, I think. But I'm not keeping it in because there's a couple of tracks that are a lot more straight up and simple, and they don't really have they play it a bit safe. So I had those two in, but I pulled them out, and I thought, I'm going to focus on albums that are maybe a bit different, and for me work completely together. The whole thing ties together. It's strong all the way through, and I'm going to pick one that is a bit of a surprise. Number one will be this compilation here called Freedom Jazz France, because this was a really big influence for me when I first heard it early on. It's a really amazing compilation of French spiritual jazz. I've talked about this many times in previous videos, but it's just one of those things that I still play a lot, and I still really enjoy it. I don't get sick of it. There's so many different things going on. Some of my all-time favourite tracks by Francois Tusks is on here. Noah Howard, people you would know. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff got reissued subsequently after this came out, but I think this is a essential jazz compilation. I'm not sure how hard it is to find these days, but yeah, it's absolutely wonderful on Heavenly Sweetness. So that would be a number one favourite. Number two, this is a vinyl community related one. So, I pulled out some Don Cherry records, I pulled out some Ornette Coleman things, I pulled out some Miles Davis, and I thought, I like these records just as much, so I'm going to show these. So they may not be my top as of right now, but they're records I really rate that I haven't talked about in a while. Phil Cohen and what's it called? Phil Cohen and Legacy. This is a live recording from Chicago in 1984. David Belson, Record Bug, put me onto this when it came out. I think it's quite hard to find now, but this is an absolutely wonderful minimal spiritual jazz record. It's just absolutely beautiful. It sounds, it really sounds like Africa, and it's just very evocative. Look at this back cover here. So the album is actually called African Skies, I should say that. Yeah, this would be definitely in my top records for sure. If anyone doesn't know this, please check it out. Alex, I'm sure you know all of these at least, so I'm not trying to sell you on them personally, but other people, yeah, I reckon this is really up there. This is one that it took me a very long time to find, and when I finally got it, it just went up to the next level of things that I think are amazing. This is probably one of the bigger names on this list, but we've got Lee Morgan, Live at the Lighthouse. For me, this record is really an indicator of the way jazz was moving in towards us, a Strata East sound and a spiritual sound, and this is one of those road markers on the way, and the way that they were playing absolutely points to the way that sort of really fiery spiritual jazz sounding driven, I guess Strata East sound, for lack of a better word. I think this is a really important record for Blue Note and for American jazz at the time, and I also happen to think it is absolutely fantastic musically. Each track is a side long, and they're just constantly searching and pushing and driving, and the songs are moving really quickly, and there's just so much power in it. Lee Morgan, Benny Maupin, Harold Mabin, Jamie Merritt, and Mickey Roker. I think this is fantastic. Check out the track called The Beehive. Fantastic, yeah. I think this is a really, it should be up there as a classic jazz record, but I think being later in Lee Morgan's career, it got a bit overlooked. Live at the Lighthouse, really cool. What's that? 3. I picked 6. I've completely fucked the rules here. Fuck it, I'll probably pull them out, I'm going to show them. Sort of in a very different direction, this is a really beautiful record from the UK by Mathew Housel called Fletcher Moss Park. This is a really slow, atmospheric, beautiful record. It's absolutely gorgeous. It came out in 2012 on Gondwana Records. This was a big one for me. I guess, hearing jazz in a really cinematic way, or really, beautiful textured way. It sounds like the cover looks, and I think every track is completely outstanding. This sort of has, I guess, Oriental influences and little bits of Middle Eastern influences. Lots of really beautiful flutes on here, and strings and cellos and stuff like that. I love this record. It's definitely one of the favourites in the collection. Next up is the Joe Harriott Quartet Abstract. This is one of my favourite records that I have here, and it sounds absolutely wonderful. I think it's fascinating what these guys were doing at this time. I feel like I've talked about this in a video pretty recently. I may have showed most of these in, like, I think I did like a favourite jazz, maybe I even did a video similar to this a few years ago. I don't know, I feel like I'm just having a deja vu moment of holding this up really recently, but yeah, Revolutionary Contemporary Jazz by London's Most Exciting Combo. The orchestration isn't what I'm looking for. The composition in here is so interesting and so unique. They really start to mess around with time signatures and stuff like that. In a way that I guess Ornette Coleman started to do a lot more later on. It's definitely one of those records that leads the way for more avant-garde stuff. I'm not saying it was before that. I'm just saying for the UK, it was definitely way ahead of its time, and it was definitely a signpost of what was to come. Really great record, and this is the original UK press. Oh no, it's a US press. There we go. I apologise. And it absolutely sounds wonderful. So if you can track this down, absolutely check it out. There you go. Last one. I think this was the first record on this label that I bought. Blase by Archie Shepp. I think this is a really overlooked record. That's when I remember who was on here. I haven't played this in a very long time. This is really good because it has a lot of slower tracks, a lot more atmospheric. They use a lot of spiritual African themes and songs, and some amazing spoken word things. And the title track, Blase, is absolutely wonderful. There's a track called Tuareg, which is like the North African style of music that they do a tribute to that. Really, really wonderful. I wish I could explain this a bit better than I am, because I feel like I'm doing if you know this record, you know how good it is. It's my favourite on the label, and you can get this still pretty cheap, I think, or at least one of the reissues. Blase. So there we go. That was probably way too many records for the thing, but please go check out Alex's channel. It's Motorik247. I'll definitely put the link below or in like a graphic thing somewhere around here. Well deserving of 200 subs and definitely more. Really good. And also check out his Instagram channel, Instagram page, because I know he puts a lot of work into putting up sound clips and stuff like that, which is really cool, because you can have sort of like an instant listen to what he's showing. And yeah, so there we go. There we go. I'll end that now. Cheers, Alex. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to meet up. I only found out, I think it was 3 days before I was about to fly out, that it wasn't happening, so I was really disappointed. I didn't get to come to LA and hang out. That would have been amazing. But you know what? I'm still young. You're still young-ish. I don't know. I'm still young. I'm not really that young anymore. I'll be in LA for sure at some point, so we will catch up. But that's that. Yeah. Peace.